Hey, welcome back. So today we're going to dig into some ancient wisdom to solve a really modern problem. All that noise and distraction. We're basically taking a Roman emperor's playbook and turning it into a tool you can use right now to get your focus back. But first, let's talk about what all this distraction is actually costing us.
So let me just ask you this. You ever get that one piece of criticism, maybe it's a comment online or just a look someone gave you, and it just sets up camp in your head? It lives there rent-free, and you just keep replaying it over and over. And you can literally feel your energy just draining away.
If you're nodding along right now, look, you are in very good company. This is not some personal flaw, it's a human thing. We're wired to care about what others think. But the price we pay for it, it's just way too high.
So what is that cost really? It's so easy to just brush it off as, I'm just overthinking. But it is so much more than that. Let's really break down the high price of worry and see exactly where all that precious mental energy is going. Okay, think of your mental energy like it's a budget. You only have so much of it each day. You can spend it on worry, which is basically just chasing shadows and reacting to every little bit of noise. Or you can invest it in your own growth, sharpening your skills, building your craft, creating something real. One path drains you, the other builds you. It's really that simple.
Yeah, trying to control or even just obsess over what other people think. It's been described perfectly as trying to clutch smoke. I mean, just picture that. It's impossible. It costs you your focus, it costs you your peace, and in the end, what do you have to show for it? Absolutely nothing. It is a terrible investment. So how do we stop making that terrible investment? How do we break the cycle? Well, the answer isn't some new life hack. It's actually ancient. We're going to turn to the wisdom of one of the most powerful people who ever lived, who also happened to be a brilliant philosopher, the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius.
You see, the Stoics had this incredibly powerful way of looking at things. They just accepted a simple, kind of liberating truth. Everything is temporary. The people who criticize you, the words they say, their opinions, even you, yourself. In the grand scheme of things, it's all fleeting. And realizing that doesn't make life meaningless. It just makes worrying about temporary criticism totally pointless. And this quote from Marcus Aurelius gets to the absolute heart of Stoic philosophy. It's this powerful realization that the outside world, what people say, things that happen, we can't command that. But our inner world, our mind, our choices, how we react, that is our kingdom. That's where our real strength is found. This whole idea is so important, it actually has a name: the dichotomy of control. And all it is really is a mental sorting exercise. You just ask yourself, is this thing in my control? My effort, my actions, my mindset? Yep, totally in my control. Is this other thing in my control? What that person thinks of me, their opinion, their reaction? Nope, not at all. And if it's not in your control, you don't waste your energy on it, period. Okay, so we've got the philosophy down. Now let's get practical. How do we actually turn this big idea into a strategy we can use every single day? We're going to talk about how to build what the Stoics called an inner citadel, your very own mental fortress. And it's basically a four-step process. First, you just identify the noise. You see it for what it is, an external event you can't control. Step 2, you acknowledge that it's temporary. Just remind yourself this will pass. Then, step 3, you deliberately redirect your focus. You pull it away from the noise and turn it inward. And finally, and this is the absolute key, you commit. You take all that energy you just saved and you pour it back into your work, back into mastering your craft. Because here's the real secret, right? The best comeback, the ultimate response to criticism, isn't some clever argument. It's mastery. It's excellence. When you are just undeniably good at what you do, the noise, it just kind of fades into the background. Your work ends up speaking for itself, way louder and way more effectively than any critic ever could. All right, so all of this brings us to a super practical tool, a kind of mental anchor you can use anytime, any day. We're going to wrap all this philosophy into one simple mantra for mastery that you can use the second you feel your focus start to slip. And here it is. This is your new mantra. Say it with me even. My focus is my fortress. I master my work. I release the rest. It's like hitting a reset button for your brain. It immediately draws a line in the sand. It reminds you where your energy belongs and what you just have to let go of. So when do you use it? Well, say it to yourself before you dive into a big project just to set your intention. Use it the moment you get some negative feedback to recenter yourself before you react. Definitely use it when you're scrolling social media and you feel that toxic comparison game starting up. Honestly, anytime you feel that worry starting to creep in, this is your tool. This is how you take your focus back.
So as we wrap this up, just remember, the noise isn't going anywhere. That's a given. The only question that really matters is the one you have to ask yourself. What part of your fortress are you going to build today? What piece of your craft will you focus on sharpening, and what noise will you finally choose to release?